And on this video, we're going to be discussing the state of the 2021 Kansas City Royals. Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast on the Laracuente Ledger Network. And as I said in the open, today we will be discussing the state of the 2021 Kansas City Royals. But before we do, make sure if you haven't already done so, you smash that subscribe button, as it does a huge service for us here at the Laracuente Ledger Network and progressing up the YouTube algorithm. So let's get into it. The first big move and the most major move that the Kansas City Royals have made this offseason was the acquisition of Andrew Benintendi in a three-way deal with the Red Sox and the New York Mets. Now, when you look at what this deal means for the Kansas City Royals, this is a player who has genuinely succeeded at every single level that he's been at, including at the major league level, prior to suffering through injuries in 2019 and 2020. When you look at what Benintendi can be for the Royals, to me, this is a guy who can replace Alex Gordon, who just retired from the Royals last offseason. And just like Alex Gordon, this is a very solid bat in the middle of that Royals order. He's likely going to hit between 2, 3, or possibly even the 5th spot in the lineup. And he's also going to play very good defense in left field, which is something that the Royals fans have gotten used to having Alex Gordon for all those years. Some Red Sox fans believe that Andrew Benintendi was actually a player on decline, and this was a fortuitous move getting rid of him because he wasn't the same player. However, I disagree. I think that injuries really played a factor in for Benintendi, and now being traded away at just 26 years old, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, and we're going to see a revitalized and reinvigorated and revamped Andrew Benintendi in Kansas City. One of the other moves, the minor league signings that was made by the Kansas City Royals that actually is standing out to most people, was the signing of Hanser Alberto. Many believe that his spot on the Royals opening day roster is just a foregone conclusion with a solid to even very good spring training. His versatility and good bat control is likely what's going to land him a spot on this Kansas City roster, mostly because of that versatility. And while there are things to be concerned with about Alberto, his low walk rate, his low hard hit percentage, there is still a lot of upside to this young man, and I believe that he's going to have a very good season in Kansas City. The other signing that the Royals would make would be that of Greg Holland, and bringing back one of their stalwarts from their championship run in 2014-2015. Holland has been limited by injuries over the last several years, so seeing if he can refine the magic that he once had in Kansas City is going to be something that we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But it was a signing of significance based on his tenure with the Royals previously. KC would also sign quite a few number of veteran players with large names, Wade Davis, Irvin Santana, Brad Brock, to their roster on invite to spring training deals. This is going to be an interesting way for the Royals to fill out this roster. I believe that there's going to be a very good mix of veterans and young players that are going to be going after the spots on the Royals 26-man roster for opening day. And I think when you look at what this roster can be, they're going to be a sneakily good roster and an underrated team in my opinion. But more on the overall state of the franchise in just a moment. Let's get into the state of the rotation for the Kansas City Royals. Obviously, the rotation begins with Brady Singer and Danny Duffy. And from there, it's going to fill out with a couple of other names, and there's going to be battles in spring training to fill out that rotation. I think when you have the two guys that you have at the start in Singer and Duffy, this is going to be a rotation that is going to be able to kind of keep you in games and hope that the offense can keep up. I feel like for both of these guys, they're going to have ERAs in the mid-3s to mid-4s, and it's going to be about finding ways to limit damage and let their offense play out. And as we look at the state of the bullpen, I believe that it's going to be very, very similar. When you look at what they have in that bullpen, it will be a mix of young arms and veterans that are making their presence known again for the Kansas City Royals, i.e. Wade Davis and Greg Holland. But when you look at what this team can have, there are going to be some names and some arms that surprise people. So I think that with that balance, with that mix of veteran presence and leadership, as well as young, youthful, power-packed arms, this is going to be a Kansas City bullpen that could surprise some people in the AL Central. Now let's jump into the state of the offense here for the Kansas City Royals. This is where their bread will be buttered. The offense for KC being led by the aforementioned Benintendi, as well as Jorge Soler, who led the major leagues just a couple of years ago in home runs, Whit Merrifield, who is constantly overlooked in my opinion, the newly extended Hunter Dozier, Carlos Santana. There's just a lot of guys on this team who can do some serious damage at the plate. So I think when you look at what this team is going to be, it's going to be based on their offense. And if their pitchers can hold down to maybe 3 to 4 runs a game, this offense is going to have a very good chance to put up those runs and win games in that way. They're going to have to beat teams offensively because the pitching staff is going to be somewhat questionable in KC. So let's jump in here with some closing thoughts on the state of the Kansas City Royals franchise in 2021. This to me is clearly the third best team in the division. The Chicago White Sox, Minnesota Twins are going to be better than the Kansas City Royals. However, I do believe that the Royals are the third best team in this division and will be in contention and battling this season for a second wild card spot. I think that they will be in that hunt, and while I don't think that they would necessarily get over that mark and get to that second wild card position based on a 10-team format, if the postseason gets extended and other teams are added, even more so, the Royals can find themselves sneaking into a postseason spot. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts on the Kansas City Royals down in the comment section below. What are your feelings about this team? Are they going to be better than I anticipate, being the third best team in the division? Will they compete for a second wild card spot in your mind? Let me know that down in the comment section below and we'll discuss it further. As always, if you haven't already done so, make sure you smash that like, subscribe, and bell so that you're notified every single time we drop new content here on the Laracuente Ledger Network. There's a lot already here on the channel this year alone and even more incoming. So make sure you keep it locked in to get that experience and to get the full Laracuente Ledger Network experience. Make sure you head over to patreon.com, search for the Laracuente Ledger Network, and join us there, as your support is what allows us to continue bringing this content each and every single week. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you when the latest news, notes, or my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions have to be dropped about the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.